Welcome to dracaenawines podcast. Our wines plus your moments equals great memories. I'm your host, Lori, and this is a podcast about all things wine. Welcome to this episode of dracaenawines podcast. Today, I am discussing Croatian wines. To be completely honest, I really had never heard of wines from Croatia until about a year ago when a colleague of mine visited and came back telling me stories of the wine region. Since then, I guess you can say my Croatian radar has been on full alert because I have been hearing quite a bit about them. In fact, my good friends John and Irene Ingersoll over at topocines.com are wine importers, wholesalers, and online retailers that are located in Napa, and they have a whole selection on their website dedicated to Croatian wines. So when I was invited to the Vina Croatia Grand Tasting on March 26th in New York City, I knew I had to attend. The tasting was held inside the Astor Center, and during the time I had the privilege to interview several of the wineries and had the opportunity to find out more about Croatia's wine history. So a little precursory information about Croatia before starting the interviews. Croatia is a nation of islands, more than 1,000 isles, keys, and peninsulas, and aquamarine waterways along the Adriatic shores. It's also a land of vineyards, with more than 300 geographically defined wine regions, all corralled in an area that is roughly the size of West Virginia. Croatia's two primary wine regions, Primorska Hrvatska and Kontinentalna Hrvatska, which is coastal Croatia and continental Croatia, are divided into a total of 12 subregions, which are then further divided into even smaller vinogorjes, which literally means wine hills. Now, I am sure I butchered all of those words, so I'm very sorry for that. But these smaller wine hills spread northeast from the shores of the Dalmatian Coast to the floodplains of the Danube River. Studies indicate that the grape used for making California Zinfandel probably originated in Croatia. Historians believe that in the 1820s, a nursery owner brought Zinfandel cuttings that were Croatian in origin to the United States from an Austrian collection. So I hope you enjoy the interviews. Sláinte. I'm here with Sabina Salama with Vina Laguna, and I just finished tasting a sparkling, a rosé sparkling, which it says is $5, and I cannot believe that it is $5 because I would buy caseloads of this. But tell us about this wine.
So our Perla Rosé, it's actually a wine made from our indigenous variety Terran. A characteristic of this Terran is actually a bit higher acidity, tannic and astringent wine. So we have this location who give us a perfect basis, so a bit less of alcohol with higher acidity and very fruity flavors that actually give us the opportunity to re-ferment the wine. And we decided to make it in a Chama method just to preserve this fruitiness.
Excellent. And do you use it for any other wines that you produce? Is it blended in with other wines?
This location of Terran, it's just for Perla Rosé. We have other locations of Terran, and we use it to produce 100% Terran and also our Terra Rossa, which is a cuvée from Terran, Bourgogne, also local variety, and we put a bit of Merlot inside to give them this modern style and international style.
So this is the first time I am tasting a Malvasia, and can you tell us about the grape itself? Do you know any history of it? What we can expect from this grape?
Okay, so the Istrian Malvasia or Malvasia, it's also the name in my region. It's a part of the family of Malvasia. You can find approximately more than 30 varieties of Malvasia all around the basin of Mediterranean Sea. And actually, this variety is slightly different from the other Malvasias that you can find on the south of Italy or Spain. and the whole name is Istrian Malvasia. It's also the northeast Malvasia that you can find in Europe, and it's still aromatic, but not so much as the other Malvasias. And we produce it as a fresh, elegant wine for everyday occasion.
My last question is, can you tell us about your region as a general, what we can expect from that region?
So my region, Istria, what can I say? It's beautiful. It's very different from the coastal part until the inside, which is also called as Little Tuscany because all the hills reminds you of Tuscany. It's characteristic of the terroir. It's great because we have 4 different types of soil: the red soil near the sea, the white soil on the hills, the grey soil on the opposite side of Istria, and in a small town we also have a dark soil. The climate, it's perfect because it is a Mediterranean climate, but not so hot as on the south. We have this cooler Mediterranean climate who cool down all the temperature, and it's very lovely in spring, also in the summer, but also in autumn. And another thing is that in some part of Istria you can still find a typical continental climate, which is perfect for wine growing. As a wine growing region, because you can find this diversity of wines all around.
So I am here with Sasha, and I am trying to find out more information about the grape variety Teran.
Well, Teran is a native Istrian variety. That means that it's part of, majority actually, of the plantings are placed in Istria, Croatia. And one part is also planted in Slovenia, in Istria and in Kras region. There is few minor vineyards with Teran in Italy too. And that's basically that. The variety is close stylistically and by looks to Refosco from Italy. But as a wine, as a grape, it's quite similar. It's a high acidity grape and quite yieldy grape. But Teran is much more. At Teran, we can find more expressed tannins, and wines are more firm with strong backbone and meant for aging mostly. When Refosco is everyday, softer, juicy type of wine. So Teran, we can follow Teran in the past for centuries under that name. And it's everyday. It was, the most important red variety in Istria for a long time.
Excellent. And so I'm noticing as I taste through the portfolios here that a lot of people are mentioning that the grapes that are in Croatia are also found in Italy. So I'm guessing the climate and all that is similar.
Actually, that was one region in the past. And the people, it was one country in the past. So Istria was, and that part of Italy where Trieste is, and parts of Slovenia was part of the Habsburg monarchy or Austro-Hungarian Empire. So those people lived together for many centuries in the past. Before that, it was Venetia and Franconia. So German and Veneto rulers were their borders passing through the Istria. So it's quite a region where people always live together, they understand each other. Everybody speaks Italian there. For example, you have 90% of Croatian in Istria, but majority at home speaks Italian. So it's a quite unique place on earth. So yeah, they share varieties, culture, heritage, and everything else together. It's a border. I mean, Italy. We have Italy and Trieste city. Then you have 15 to 20 kilometers of Slovenia on the coast, and then you have Croatian Istria. So it's everything is in 50 kilometers or 100 kilometers whole region. It's a small region, and mixed, very mixed.
And in terms of Croatia, how is it easy to get the wines here? Is it difficult to find them?
Well, yeah, it is. It's very niche wine for the American market. I found here in Astor wine shop in the cellar nice portfolio of Croatian wines. You can find Teran, for example, from Kozlovic winery, this one, or other producers from Croatia. There is 5 to 6 producers from Croatia here, but actually it's normal shop. You couldn't find any Croatian wines. Yes, that's true.
Yeah, I don't think I came here specifically because I don't see them at the shops that I frequent. So that was one of the main reasons why I wanted to come here.
Yeah, I mean, Croatian wines are niche wines all over the world because the domestic demand for wines in Croatia is huge. So they easily sell all they produce at home. So who want to export actually is I'm an adventurous kind of person. Well, that's actually those people are looking in the future. So they want to spread their markets to more countries to put risk down in the future. So my English. And well, it's quite new. Export Croatian wines are quite new situation.
So you were telling me that there's like over 600 varieties. How many varieties are? 200 varieties that are native to Croatia. So that's quite a bit. Do you know? Were they hit with phylloxera? Are they?
Yeah, actually it was heavily hit by phylloxera, but in Dalmatia, which is, let's say, garden of native varieties of Croatia, people didn't plant new varieties. They again, after phylloxera, they stick to the old varieties. And luckily, because of Dalmatia, we have hundreds of native varieties, actually more than 200 varieties in whole Croatia. In Istria, we have upper Adriatic coast, we have, let's say, 20 to 30 varieties. In continental part, which is behind it, high range of mountains of Dinaric Alps, there is only few, but they are widely planted as Dracaenawines. But in Dalmatia, we have hundreds, not hundreds, but many of them.
And so they're mostly used in blends. Like what are the main? If you have to pick like 3 main grape varieties that are Croatians' mainstay, what would you say they were?
The biggest is Graševina, which is 1/3 of all Croatian vineyards. Then second one is Malvazija Istriana from Istria, and third one is Plavac Mali from Dalmatia, red wine. First two was whites. And 50% of all vineyards in Croatia are by 2-3. That's 3 varieties. 50%. Then you have that all vineyards with mixed varieties, when you can find many varieties. But those commercial vineyards are actually one monovarietals, and those 3 varieties are most common.
And then I was wondering, so the wineries themselves, are they more like individual people who are producing the wine, or are they like villages that come together to?
Mostly individual. In the past, we have developed culture of cooperatives, but since democracy in Croatia, since fall of the Iron Curtain, everybody turned to build their own brand. So today we have a situation that we have vast majority is private-owned wineries.
And how about like denominations? Do you have quality levels within Croatia?
Yes, we have. Wines without origin. Then we have. It's actually that European PGI and PDO. PGI and PDO. So PGI is just geographic indication, and PDO is protection, protected origin. So those protected origin, we have further appellation system. So you have some which are basic, let's say as for origin, and then you have some special vineyards as Dingac, as Postuk, which are denominated as top level. Plus we have one denomination called quality wine and top quality wine. So vrhunsko in Croatian and quality in Croatian. So and Sláinte, which means stable wine. So we also have that type of denominations. Two types of. One is geographical, another one is by quality.
Excellent. And is it when you have the quality, is it difficult for the growers to get their wines into that quality? Or like, do they have, how some regions they have to have it sampled and they have to taste it, others are strict, this side of the road versus that side of the road?
Yeah. Geographical denomination is more strict, and they are really strict. That stable quality or top quality are not so strict. But it depends about opinion of one tasting panel in official body, which is called Institute for Wine and Winemaking, something like that. So they taste all wines which is going on market, and then they decide this is top quality, this is quality, and that's it. Table wines, table wines actually are wines without origin.
And is that done? That tasting is done vintage by vintage?
Yeah.
Or? Wow.
Vintage by vintage. Not only vintage by vintage. And if you have several labels of that particular wine, or several times you are putting on market, every time you have to go to check the tasting.
Wow, good to be on that panel, I guess, huh? Excellent. Thank you so much. So I am tasting at Kabola Winery, and I was going to pass up the Muscat Momjanski.
Muscat Momjanski.
I wasn't even close. But she talked me into it, and I'm glad she did. So it is a protected grape for their winery. So if you can tell us about the grape and how it's labeled and things like that.
So the Muscat Momjanski grows only in the territory 10 kilometers square where we have our wineries. And only we and 3 producers can produce it and name it Muscat Momjanski and nobody else, because we protect it, because it's different from others Muscat. This Muscat, the maceration lasts for 12 to 24 hours, and the fermentation is stainless steel barrels. The Muscat Momjanski is an indigenous grape variety of Momian area, and thanks for its position and microclimate, it's unique in the world from the other.
Can you tell me about the grape itself, Muscat? Can you tell me about what it is?
Yes. The Muscat is recognized for its highlight yellow color with golden reflections. The wine is notably aromatic with dominating fresh fruit notes like wine are peaches, orange, and the elegant notes of white cherry. The wine is bottled with semi-sweet and sweet. It has 28 grams per liter of sugar, and it's both warm and soft. It's medium body, and it's very fine quality and harmonious taste.
It really is very excellent. I'm glad you talked me into giving it a try. So I'm here with Paul Russo, and he is representing the Grgich, which is in relation to the Grgich we all know. So we're going to say the relationship here, how we get from California to Croatia.
Well, actually, we get to Croatia to California. So Mike Grgich is originally from Croatia. He left at a time when Croatia, which was Yugoslavia at the time, wasn't a very safe place to be. So he worked his way to get to Germany, then to Canada, and he finally got a visa to get down to the U.S. So his first job was working for Chateau Souverain, and it was there that he saw all these grapes being picked, and he goes, "Wow, you have a Croatian grapery." And they're like, "No, Mike, we know you're from Croatia, but this is really Zinfandel. It's indigenous to California. It's from everywhere." He goes, "No, this is a Croatian grape." And for 30 years, people laughed at it. And it wasn't until the 90s when a professor from UC Davis did a study on it and reached out to Mike, and then they did a DNA test, and he pointed her towards Croatia to where it came from. So that's kind of the connection of how it gets back to Croatia. Mike, in turn, had a very successful career in Napa Valley as a winemaker. He won the Paris tasting with his Chardonnay from Chateau Montelena, and then he started his own winery. But it was in the 90s that the president of Croatia reached out to him, and they brought him back to Croatia, gave him his honorary degree from the University of Zagreb, and Mike said, "Hey, if there's ever anything you do for Croatia, this is my home, my heartland, I really want to do something special." So the president said, "I want to check my winery." So in 1996, Mike and his daughter opened the winery in Croatia, and that's where we are today. So over 20 years, we've been in Croatia, and over 40 years in Napa.
Is he importing this too?
So, Mike is now 95 or celebrating his 95th birthday this April 1st. Violet, his daughter, has now taken over the company. His nephew, Ivo, is the winemaker now. Ivo flies back and forth and makes wine in both places. And Violet's in charge of the wine in both places. We had a fire at the facility in Croatia a few years ago, and we lost all of our stocks. So we had been importing into the U.S. We had to stop because we didn't have the wine. We just brought our first container, which we're landing this week from the U.S., and we get a small amount, less than 1,000 cases for the U.S. market. We're very excited.
It will be. So explain to me, Pava Mali, I probably... Oh, I'm saying it. I'm saying it close enough.
Yeah. I'm an American, so I'm probably going to be the same way you are. I'm not an authority on Croatia or Croatian wines, but I do know it's near and dear to my heart.
And I am blanking on her name, is the UC Davis professor.
You know what, I am as well, so you can look it up very easily. There's plenty of YouTube videos on it and such.
I listened to her, I read her papers about it. And so is it specifically Zinfandel, or you know how Primitivo and Zinfandel?
Yeah, so I would recommend that you go look it up and get the exact details for it. On the sheet for the Plavich Mali, it's actually a different grape, and that is related to the Plavich Mali. So the Zinfandel is related to this other grape, and the Plavich Mali is related to the other grape. Primitivo is somewhere down the line as well. So just do a little bit of research and get it really fast. If you just Wikipedia, it'll all come up right there.
So if we're tasting this, if I'm blind tasting this and being the American that I am and don't think outside of, America because I'm stupid.
No, you're drinking wine, it's all good.
Am I tasting odd Americans?
Yeah, and that's the key is what are we doing with the wine that we're making? So for example, Zinfandel, American Zinfandel. We make our Zinfandel a little bit different for Griffith Chill's estate in Napa. Ours is a little bit lighter, you can see through the juice, and it's a style that we make. It's not over alcohol, it's well balanced. And for us, it's really about balance and acid, and we're also 100% organic in our Napa Valley, 100% estate. In Croatia, we buy our juice, so we go to the best growers that we can get, and we count on them to do their job. And you're going to see a lot of similarities into it, and it's the style of winemaking that Mike and Ivo like to do.
Excellent. So, there's a lot of jamminess, pepper. Pepper is kind of a biggie with Zinfandel here. Are we going to get that pepper?
Not so much the pepper. It's just an indigenous flavor. You get that true kind of Zinfandel kind of thing. You get a similar type of thing with Primorska Hrvatska as well.
Yeah. Excellent. I'm so excited to try this.
Oh, it's beautiful when I try it.
Did you know that Dracaenawines now has a wine club? We named it the Chalk Club. Draco is on our label, but Vegas was getting a little jealous, so we decided he deserved to be our club spokesdog. In Las Vegas, betting chalk means that you are betting on all of the favorites. We are betting that we are one of your favorite wineries, so we thought the name was apropos. The club is simple, yet a bit different than most. When you wager on us, we will ship you 3 bottles of wine twice a year, once in April and once in September. You can choose all red or mix of red and rosé. You immediately receive 15% off of all your wine purchases throughout the year, but what makes our club stand out is the progressive discount. Let your club membership ride into the next year. Your discount increases. Each year you parlay your membership, you receive an additional 5% off up to a planned maximum of 25%. Your club shipments are discounted to a flat $15, plus we'll cover your club shipping cost for your second shipment. That's $15 house money in a sure bet for you. So please head to our website, dracaenawines.com, and find out all of the benefits of joining the Chalk Club and how to sign up. We've stacked the odds so that you can get our award-winning wines without breaking the bank. Thanks for listening to Dracaena Wines podcast. If you have suggestions on what topics you would like us to discuss, please reach out to us on social media. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, Facebook, Snapchat, Google, and Periscope as @DracaenaWines. I am also on LinkedIn as Lori Hoyt Budd, or email us at dracaenawines.com. If you enjoyed our podcast, please subscribe and leave us a review on your favorite podcast catcher to help others find us more easily. We are found on all of your favorite aggregators. To subscribe easily to iTunes, go to bit.ly/Dracaena podcast. That's bit.ly/Dracaena podcast. And that's a capital D for Dracaena and capital P for podcast. Please check out our award-winning wines and find out about our wine club at dracaenawines.com. And remember to always pursue your passion. Sláinte!